SML is never getting better. There, I said it. It's gonna be at its horrible, unwatchable state. Unless they follow my advice at the end of the video. Said thing being the upload schedule, as we're gonna see later, has affected everything in SML. From the pacing, to the characters, to the set designs. Pretty much everything has all been ruined. Here's one major problem. Nowadays, SML has a video, and instead of, telling the story, they think, how can I fill up as much useless bullshit into this story so we could drag the video out to at least 8 minutes? SML videos used to be way longer, yet they felt 10 times shorter. And as somebody who makes YouTube videos, I would never do something that they're doing currently. I want you to imagine if out of nowhere, I just played the sus version of Into the Thick of It just to extend the runtime. That's what watching modern SML feels like. I try to make my videos as short as possible so that more people can watch them, but that's a different video for a different day. To get an idea, let's compare a modern SML episode to an old SML episode. In the SML movie Abraham Lincoln, they start off with roasting each other. This lasts for about 1 minute, by the way. Then it takes us like 4 or so minutes to actually get to the part where we see Abraham Lincoln, after them arguing about how good of a president Abraham Lincoln was, which, yeah, was necessary for this episode. But quite frankly, this was an argument that should have taken no more than 30 seconds. And even that's pushing it a bit. Then we got the worst example of modern SML filler, where we spend 4 minutes watching Abraham Lincoln and his wife talking. This adds nothing to the video at all, and quite frankly, Logan should be counting the stars that he's SML, because if any channel would have tried to pull this bullshit with their audience, they would have all clicked away. And after 9.5 minutes in, Cody leaves Ken, and we finally finish Act 1. And just to give you an idea, every movie, show, or YouTube video has 3 acts. Act 1 is when some major problem happens. Act 2 is just full of a bunch of littler problems that build up to the bigger main problem. And by the end of Act 2, we get a climax. And Act 3 is pretty much wrapping everything up. It took us most of the episode just to get to Act 2. Also, I do want to clarify that 9 minutes being a long time really depends on what medium you're watching. Acts in movies are going to take a lot longer than acts in shows. But hey, different video for a different day. Later on, the pacing actually starts to pick up, as they discover that Ken has now been mistaken for the former President Abraham Lincoln. So then they go and steal Ken back, and then they're on the news, and they're all like, everybody get these 2 kids' asses! And then the episode ends. The pacing was so slow that we didn't even get to finish Act 2. I mean, this is such a good concept for an episode if they actually just let it play out for a bit longer. I mean, imagine watching Junior, Cody, and gang try to hide Ken from the authorities, then getting caught, and then another bad thing happens, and another bad, on and on and on, and you get the idea. And let's compare that to the magical button I was talking about earlier, which is an episode that I actually reviewed a long time ago, and you would have known about that if you just, kidnap the subscribe button, torture it, for the many war crimes it has committed across the West. And the government will indeed give you nothing if you do so, but I will give you a thumbs up. Anyway, back to this video. We immediately get a problem. The gang is bored. They want to go to Paper World. Junior's like, I'll go ask my dad. His dad says no. Boom, Act 1. All this happened in 2 minutes of a 20-minute video. There was the little Charlie skit that interrupted, but the difference is that unlike modern SML filler, not only was this much shorter, but it was also actually entertaining. Plot thickens, and it is completely dictated on Junior's decision making to keep on pressing the button. Boom, boom, boom. All these characters are dying. Boom, boom, boom. He's starting to grow more and more insane until we get to the climax where Cody dies and Junior's all sad, all crashing out and stuff. He's getting mad at the skeleton and shit, going like, yeah. And then he realizes that the only way to bring everybody back is by killing himself, which he does. And now we're getting to Act 3 as Cody and Joseph start crying over Junior, but then they're like, hey, why don't we just make a button that could bring him back? And then it works. And then they wrap everything up in the greatest SML episode of all time. See, that is how you pace an episode. Next up, we got to talk about set design and props and visual effects, and you get the point. The SML episode that has the greatest set design ever that isn't some big special event is Junior Goes to the Future. They saran wrapped their entire house just for a regular run-of-the-mill SML episode. That should tell you how much higher the production quality was. Meanwhile, nowadays, we'll be lucky if we get to see the kitchen in an SML episode. In the SML movie Night Swim, however, they're on the couch. They go in the pool. Again, filler. Animation by Brooklyn T Guy, which lasts about 20 seconds. And I'll say this, it's some good animation. The animations that they add is actually a really good thing about modern SML. But even then, the animation has no bearing on the plot and is just for filler. And then they go back into the pool, then back on the couch and back in the pool, and then they immediately solve the problem with a freaking toaster. Wow, how entertaining. SML characters nowadays either A, cardboard cutouts, don't feel like real characters and just feel like the voice actors talking into the characters, or B, are flanderized versions of their older selves up to the point where they're straight up unenjoyable, or C, they're not even in a show anymore. And although I would yap your ears off about these characters, the thing is, I've already made way too many videos for me to do so, and I've got a new one on the way. So why don't you go catch up on my SML series, because after this SML video is done, I'm going to make one on Cody. However, stick around for now, because I'm not done. It's time for me to give SML its solutions. Solution 1, which is the most obvious one, start uploading once a week again, instead of uploading 3 times a week. It would really help your mental health, Logan, and it would make the episodes a lot better. However, assuming that you're way too scared about people forgetting you within the span of a week, make every single SML episode into 3 parts. Now episodes can keep the same quality and can be uploaded as frequently. Another bonus is you can make all the segments of the episodes shorts. And then one final one is that when the full video is out, you can combine all those short segments of the video and then upload the whole thing on the main part of your channel to get that sweet ad revenue. Am I a genius or am I a genius? Anyway, about that SML series, you can check it out in this playlist. I'd recommend the Joseph video. It's my most popular video ever, so you know it's a banger. And thank you for sticking to the end of this video, because as my mental health gets worse and worse, you know, you doing that really helps.